Hatred is a mirror, often reflecting something we once buried deep. The face you scorn, the voice that makes your heart clench. It may carry a fragment of your own forgotten self. A child's laughter silenced too soon, a dream shamed into shadows. Tonight we sit with that reflection, not to judge it, but to see the part of you that still waits for acceptance. Because the one you hate might be the one you left behind. And in that tender reunion, the story can finally begin to change. Imagine standing at the threshold of a silent journey into the soul. Our exploration begins. As we breathe in the subtle air of introspection, a gentle descent opens before us, inviting us to see beyond the ordinary. The hatred we direct toward another, often dismissed as an unconnected sentiment, is illuminated here, revealing itself as a deep reflection of the shadowed fragments dwelling within. Beneath layers of emotions and stories, we uncover the mirror that simmering disdain presents. To question the essence of our anger towards others transforms our gaze inward, prompting us to see reflected pieces of our own stories. In the hushed whispers of contemplation, we feel the pull of unspoken narratives, emotions lingering from fragments of our past. A peculiar choreography of self-discovery unfolds as we embrace these experiences. As we look into mirrors of emotion that another's presence brings forth, we unravel an enigma. The disdain cloaks an unrecognized part of ourselves. With each face that ignites disdain, a shadow hints at a memory long suppressed. These reflections, which often incite discomfort, are invitations to delve into core questions lingering in our psyche. Here lies a contemplation not marred by accusation, but bathed in curiosity. The faces before us guide us to ask, what semblance of me hides behind the guise of disdain? In the delicate dance of reflection, the unseen dissonances beckon, urging us to acknowledge the unknown. Contempt is intricately woven into our unresolved past, shadows that whisper with the echoes of what once was. The origin of these feelings runs deep, perhaps arising from the forgotten realms of childhood or the reverberations of abandoned dreams. Unravelling these tendrils of memory illuminates the subconscious scripts winding through our lives, scripts that shape how the present unfolds. In contemplating these shadows, we transform them into allies, guides illuminating our path to integration and healing. As the echoes of others' traits drum through our consciousness with visceral force, they orchestrate a symphony of unresolved themes within us. Each is a resilient call toward the unhealed spaces within, a resonance that nudges us toward growth and understanding. Moments arise when another's actions provoke an emotion of immense intensity. This surge is not just a reaction, but a map, a pointer signalling the hidden terrains of our psyche. Embrace these feelings, exploring the stories they evoke, drawing forth the raw essence of self that cries for reconciliation. The journey into the shadow self beckons, unveiling the truths enveloped in mystery. These are not foes, but parts of ourselves left to linger in the shadows, holding keys to our innermost responses, linked to societal norms and forgotten tales. As we delve deeper into our shadows with compassion, revelations emerge with the golden glow of authenticity, bridging the gaps between fragmented facets of our soul, cultivating a return to wholeness. In recognizing contempt, we confront the shared vulnerability that unites us all, reducing the chasms of division. The reflections that stir discomfort are reflections of qualities often repudiated within. Our perceived disdain masks a common insecurity, a tender truth of shared humanness, endeavouring for acknowledgement. In this shift, judgment dissolves, revealing a world painted in empathy, blurring the boundaries that separate, and allowing compassion's essence to flow and expand. Adopt the eyes of an observer, a guardian of quiet curiosity, who watches the self in its dance of emotions and reactions. With gentle detachment, we free ourselves from spirals of turmoil and meet the opportunity for enlightenment. In stillness, we observe the harmonious unfolding of our narrative, the stories interlacing subtly with our external world, granting us clarity and insight into our actions and connections. As the chapter of inquiry closes, we find ourselves not shattered, but gently mended, embracing a unified sense of self. Beneath our reactions lies the rediscovery that we are more than fragmented emotions, more than the reflections that challenge us. In this understanding, a metamorphosis takes place. As we mend the nuances of our being, a space is created for a true rebirth, a tapestry woven with threads of acceptance and completeness. Transcending contempt liberates us from old narratives, allowing the awakening of a new self, one filled with potential and freedom. Old judgments lose their grip, and relationships bloom with genuine affection and insight. As the chains of disdain crumble, we become open to life's complex dance, embracing the nuances once clouded by judgment. What began with contempt transforms into a journey of revelations, shifting once blinding emotions into understanding's gentle light. The essence of this journey is not just seeing what we detest, but in engaging deeply with what it reflects within us. In self-exploration, we release ourselves from judgments that confined us, allowing for a serene renewal of spirit. As we carry this wisdom into future chapters, each step promises ever more discovery and understanding, leading us towards a harmonious, reflective crescendo in life's continued odyssey. In the soft embrace of our earliest years, we are guardians of innocence, untouched by the world's demands. Each day dawns with boundless curiosity, emerging from a place where authenticity flows as naturally as breath. Joy and sorrow dance with purity, echoing a time when the world and self are fluid and boundless. Every emotion a raw, honest reflection of our inner universe. Yet as the journey continues, this untainted authenticity encounters the intricate tapestry of societal norms, whispering intimate lessons on survival and acceptance. We enter various realms: home, school, neighbourhoods, each presenting its own set of codes. Gently, we learn the power of conformity, as rewards coerce us into moulding our behaviour, pushing aside parts that do not fit society's ideal pattern. This adapted self becomes a mask, a guardian ensuring belonging and safety. But beneath its surface lies a storied wilderness of hidden truths. The anger not expressed, the vulnerability stifled, the joy muted, each finds refuge in shadows, lingering quietly. Over time, the lines between our authentic core and this crafted persona blur, leaving us entwined in a complex dance of true desire and imposed identity. Carl Jung spoke of the shadow, a repository for our unexpressed potentials, desires too daring or frightening for conscious embrace. This shadow, birthed in childhood, cradles our exiled essence, arising not as enemy but as guardian of denied creativity, power, and light. Although buried from daylight, they are far from idle, quietly shaping our decisions and responses, manifesting as visceral reactions or strange echoes of self in those who stir discomfort within us. The shadow's murmur is a sacred calling for acknowledgement. To explore these facets is to bridge the divide between hidden potentials and conscious self, peering into the nuanced tapestry of not-me aspects with gentle reverence. Yet during these tender years, the darkness of the shadows misunderstood, stirring fears of inadequacy or rejection, prompting its perpetual suppression. This internal fragmentation brings a heavy toll. The anguish of rejection seeds a powerful yearning for wholeness, often shadowing our adult experience with traces of dissatisfaction. Unhealed, these wounds carve valleys through our worth, seeding depression and anxiety as energies once meant for connection turn cold within. This emotional schism breeds inner conflict, a struggle between perceived virtue and vilified shadow, draining the reservoir of self-compassion and empathy for others. The persona, a crafted shield, promises fleeting invulnerability, offering a brittle safety rooted in societal validation instead of self-worth. But a profound safety lies not in performance, but in embracing authenticity. The true danger lies not in the revealing of shadows, but in ignoring them, for within them lay gifts for growth. Real security emerges from the alchemy of accepting both the gentle light and deepening dusk of our nature. We are the architects of our truth, with stories mapping pathways we dare to tread or shun. From the voices of parents, teachers, and peers, tales of who we ought to be wend their way into our self-concept, weaving strings of influence often unseen until tugged by deeper inquiry. Yet in acknowledging them, revising these worn narratives, we rise from passive participant to sovereign author, rewriting the chapters of what was into something deeply, achingly real. Childhood rejection imprints itself as ripples on the sacred waters of our existence, echoing through adult life, nurturing disconnection from our purest self. The spectres of feared judgment and conditional love manifest in low self-worth, in relationships marked by codependency, or in the aversion to true vulnerability. Yet there is beauty in recognising the source of this echoing dissonance, a chance to instigate healing's gentle wave. As awareness dawns, these ancient stories illuminate themselves as constructs, not fate, inviting a rewriting of self-definition. We begin to understand the legacy of childhood as gentle steps forward, reshaping past scars into markers of wisdom rather than shame. Uncovering the rawness of earlier wounds becomes not an exercise in reliving pain, but in dissolving its lingering veil over current clarity. We extend compassion to our former selves, with each healed fragment inviting a larger wholeness into being. In bridging our open years with a lantern of present insight, a transformative wholeness emerges, carrying us beyond the need for conformity into the realm of self-authorship. The alchemy of past hardship revealed, we find the courage to allow those earlier selves revelled in light, harmonising facets once buried under survival's guise. Thus we welcome this integrated self, where once the ache of not belonging dwelt. We dance with the shadows, speaking them alive into echoes of grace, turning past rejection into a soulful embrace. From this sacred exploration, the art of belonging finds root in authenticity, allowing the full orbit of emotion to guide us home to joy, connection, and the symphony of life animated by true self-discovery. In the silent choreography of human interaction, projection is a subtle dancer, moving unseen across the stage of our consciousness. Like a whisper in the dark, it glides between our perceptions, casting its influence in shadowed corners where acknowledgement rarely treads. Far from an anomaly, projection is a ritual of the soul, a quiet ceremony woven into the fabric of our shared existence. It shields us from truths too bright to face directly, cloaking them instead in the guise of another's visage. Recognising this gentle art is not only a task of awareness, but an invitation to journey inward. Beneath this ritual lies a defense woven deep within our psyche, a guardian that shelters us from confronting aspects of ourselves, disowned and hushed into silence. These aspects lie dormant, carried as seeds from our earliest encounters with shame or fear, where fragments of self were abandoned in favour of conformity or acceptance. As we navigate the world, these seeds lay in wait, yearning to stir when mirrored in the faces and actions of others, summoning unresolved echoes of our forgotten selves. Thus, projection unveils a duality, acting both as a shield and a tormentor. It conceals and protects, yet simultaneously forges barriers against growth and understanding. What we perceive in another is often a reflection, an opportunity wrapped in a mirage, urging us to listen to the message buried within its folds. Each encounter becomes a reflection, an intimation from the depths, quietly inviting integration and care. In embracing projection, life transforms into a delicate dance with our shadows, each step an invitation to introspect and reconsider. When we stumble upon arrogance, vulnerability, or cruelty in others, what arises within us? Are these not mirrors, echoing disowned fragments shaped by societal moulds and our own self-imposed facades? This dance, intrinsic and inevitable, offers a glimpse into our psyche's whisperings, much like shadows cast by a waning sun, changing as our perception shifts. Every reaction of discomfort, every moment of aversion or resistance becomes a compass pointing toward hidden chambers within our soul. When we heed this compass, judgment transforms from an impulse into a passage, revealing a deeper understanding awaiting exploration. Historically, we shy away from discomfort, labelling it as unwanted disturbance. But when reimagined, discomfort guides us like a compassionate teacher, unveiling new realms for growth and an expanded vision of the self. The ethereal veil of projection blurs reality, merging our insecurities with perceptions of the world. It obscures truth, preventing clarity and clouding honesty with shadows of our internal strife. To uncover reality means to peel back this veil intentionally, to view our emotions with curious tenderness, thus unravelling the illusions we've projected onto others. This process, courageous yet healing, unveils truths once concealed, encouraging genuine connections untarnished by misconception. Projection, when approached as an alchemical process, becomes an instrument of transformation within us. By distilling negative impressions into sacred insights, we realize the traits projected outward are in fact hidden pathways to self-discovery and consciousness expansion. Reflective practices like journaling or meditation act as crucibles within which confusion is transformed into clarity, and avoidance births engagement, guiding us toward a more harmonious existence. Faced with the irritation brought on by others, we are presented with the chance to confront parts of ourselves mirrored back. This involves a humility to embrace these reflections, not to justify unfavourable behaviour, but to acknowledge the shared presence within us. This realisation does not judge or shame, rather, it softly liberates, offering a path to newfound perspectives and compassion. Through this gentle embrace of another's reflection, we honour the silent histories, the unspoken longings, and the aspirations quietly alive within. Opportunities for deeper empathy and connection flourish, fostering a fertile ground for healing and integration. Acceptance becomes the gentle key that unlocks doors long sealed, inviting the rejected self to step into the light of conscious embrace. Instead of battling judgment, we transform criticism into a wellspring of understanding. Perceptions of others evolve from sparks of anger into connections enriched with empathy and insight. This delicate transformation demands mindfulness, nurtured with patience, allowing judgments to reveal the lessons they obscure. Stepping into this realm, we honour our human condition and open ourselves to the vibrant tapestry of shared experience. As projection softly fades, we create an inner sanctuary, a peaceful retreat untainted by the clamour of judgment and insecurity. In this sacred space, we explore our psyche's complexity without fear. This inner haven inspires acceptance, nurturing obscured truths toward integration, weaving them gently into our lives. Here, shadows garner the sweetness of recognition, illustrating their rightful place within the whole of our being. Projection thus tenderly guides us toward embracing our wholeness. Through acknowledging and reclaiming shadowed parts, we edge closer to our fullest expression, a self where both shadow and light coexist in harmony. By transcending the barriers of projection, we glimpse a purer self, an unfolding unity in which every step toward integration enriches the essence of who we are, leading us to our true, indivisible self. In the quiet reverberations of our soul, there lies an echo, familiar yet distant, that whispers tales of our own struggles, cunningly mirrored by those who unsettle us. As we stand before them, initially caught in an inexplicable discomfort, we begin to recognize fragments of ourselves, stubborn relics of our past, silent tapestries of shame, quiet assertions of vulnerability. It's in these moments of raw confrontation that we unveil our inner landscapes, the struggles we have long sought to bury. Beneath the facade of irritation or disdain is a profound opportunity for introspection, a gentle nudge to explore the unresolved battles within. Their presence, initially jarring, becomes a reflective pool, mirroring forgotten parts of ourselves, guiding us toward an intimate dialogue with our hidden wounds. In this reflection, we encounter the stubbornness we've shunned, those ancient impulses that resist the tender call of compromise, an armour we wore in childhood, thinking it would preserve our fragile self-essence. These resistant faces we meet are not foes, but embodied reminders of the battles we wage inside, wrapped in tangled histories of unmet needs and unspoken hopes. As we gently turn towards these inner confrontations with humility and curiosity, the stubborn figures cease to be adversaries and become rather instinctive guides leading us toward healing. Amidst the echoes, shame sits quietly cloaked in borrowed guises, masked by anger, denial, or projection. Witnessing shame in others often stirs the embers within, a mirror to moments when we stumbled, felt less, or hid behind facades. But this confrontation with shame does not aim at reinforcing those shadows of negative self-perception. Instead, it is a soft, illuminating invitation to re-examine the stories we've woven from its threads. When we embrace the echo of shame with compassion, we carve out space for transformation, where understanding dissolves self-worth illusions and grants us grace. In this sacred space, vulnerabilities once dismissed shift into focus, reframed as quiet strengths. Those who dare simplicity and openness, reflecting the tender parts of ourselves we were taught to guard, offer a doorway into our own stories of misplaced disdain. Allowing the light to penetrate these vulnerable spaces quietly unburies a protective shell hardened by societal norms and self-preservation. When vulnerability is seen as strength, it sheds the burden of misconception, engendering authentic connection both within and beyond. The vivid tapestry of our soul is interwoven with diversity, each thread struggling for recognition. The dissonance and uneasiness we feel with others often echo the colourful diversity within, the unexplored alleys of our own shadowy reach. Embracing the diversity in others is an invitation to explore, without judgment, the vivid shades of our own psyche, illuminating a path toward liberation and acceptance. By cherishing the complex stories we share, rich in diverse emotions, experiences and truths, we foster a unity not confined by barriers, but blossoming in shared humanity. With emotional resonance, we step into a deeper realm, a landscape where the emotions of others vibrate within us, awakening the dormant harmonies we've kept hidden. These resonances, stirring discomfort or inspiration, unravel the web of our woven truths, offering insightful guidance into old patterns desperate for recognition. Embracing this resonance as a cherished compass deepens our understanding of self and strengthens our emotional roots, nurturing a path toward wholeness and profound connection. Our sensitivity, once disparaged, holds profound wisdom. When met with dismissal, it reflects the same narratives that discounted the tender facet of our identity. Those who ignite within us a response of irritation beckon us to revisit tales of fragility. As we unravel these sensitivities and grant them new respect, they evolve from perceived weakness into instruments of inner resilience, gifts that expand our vision, allowing us to see life's subtleties with new eyes. Finding peace within the art of observation opens a quiet sanctuary where judgment fades, revealing the intricate dynamics between self and other. In this mindful communion, we feel the unfolding dance of presence and peace, exploring the echoes whispered by those who unsettle our composure. Here lies a transformative power, an invitation to silence the noise and listen deeply, allowing compassion to flourish where dissonance once dwelled. In moments of tension that punctuate our interactions, there blooms an opportunity adorned with the petals of familiar discord, a call to recognize elements entwined with our own unspoken past. These heightened moments reveal the quiet plea of our souls for reconciliation, knitting present tension with past healing and inviting a profound acceptance. The resonant echoes that play across our hearts are fragments yearning to harmonize the tapestry of our inner world, whispered notes from the universe, urging us towards unity and completion. Amidst this symphony, woven with patience, discernment, and sacred understanding, we discover the wholeness waiting to emerge, a tapestry painted with light, exuding serenity, and resonating with the silent symphony of universal connection. In the quiet recesses of the soul, anger often surges forth like a sudden storm, its presence powerful yet deeply misunderstood. Beneath this tempest lies a treasure map of sorts, pointing not to distant lands, but to the shadowed territories within, where childhood wounds whisper softly in the night. As we unravel the threads of our own fury, we discover these intricate layers, woven with unmet needs and silent vulnerabilities from days gone by. Imagine anger not as an enemy, but as a vigilant sentinel, a protector of the tender emotions lying dormant beneath its fierce surface. When approached with curiosity, anger reveals itself as a gateway to profound introspection, guiding us to the heart of what truly requires healing and compassion within us. To embark on this inner journey, we must first acknowledge that anger is often a guardian of deeper fears. The fear of being unseen, the dread of inadequacy, the terror lurking in the shadows of potential abandonment. These fears are the threads we pull to unravel the tapestry of our emotional state, woven tightly since those times when we felt undervalued or silenced. As adults, it's easy to cast our anger outward, but its roots stretch deep into our past. By embracing anger as an invitation rather than a burden, we can illuminate how childhood experiences extend their shadowy tendrils into our present consciousness, igniting a transformative awareness of our internal landscape. Often in the shadow of anger, grief waits quietly, a subtle companion in our journey of understanding. Grief, in its melancholic wisdom, calls us to remove its veil, allowing us to see the interplay between past losses and current emotions. As we acknowledge this lamentation, we offer a sanctuary for healing and transformation, inviting the inner child to step into acceptance and acknowledgement. This gentle introspection asks us to hold space for what has been lost: innocence, security, or unconditional love, nurturing these buried emotions until they surface to the light. In this tender dialogue with grief, we confront how it clings to the echoes of childhood neglect or unrequited longing. Grief, unable to voice itself, often cloaks itself in defiance or anger, protecting the heart from raw vulnerability. Yet, as mature beings, we hold the power to translate these unspoken cries into understanding and compassion. Illuminating this hidden pain sheds light on how ancient echoes shape our self-perceptions today, and how acknowledging our grief nurtures resilience and empowers us to embrace life with an open heart. Amidst these shadows, shame wraps itself to unmet needs for acceptance, camouflaging as anger. By lifting this cloak, we uncover the vulnerability that courses beneath anger's hardened exterior. In doing so, we recognize our projections. These are not true reflections of the world, but signals of internal distress, cries for validation, and echoes of love that feels out of reach. As we dismantle these layers of shame, conscious awareness seeps in, inviting parts once deemed unworthy to be woven back into the fabric of self-acceptance. Through kindness, we restore integrity, transforming perceived faults into strengths and fostering a respectful relationship with ourselves. The architect of many defences, fear, guides this tangled facade. Beneath it, fear operates as an emotional compass, urging us to redefine rather than resist its omnipresence. By embracing fear as both guardian and guide, we find within it the key to unlocking deeper self-awareness and growth. This emboldens us to confront the stories we've spun about ourselves, the what-ifs and should-haves that bind us in loops of anxiety. Underneath lie moments where emotional needs were unmet or dreams were brushed aside by others' expectations. Revisiting these moments with inquiry allows healing to take root, embracing life's uncertainties with confidence and curiosity. In fear's shadow lies the strength of vulnerability, often mistaken for weakness. Embracing vulnerability allows hidden truths to emerge, fostering deeper connections. In vulnerability's warm embrace, authentic living finds its roots, bridging fractures within our inner world and external interactions. Peeling back layers of self-protection invites the raw self to be seen, transforming our narratives into expressions of truth and wisdom. Our bodies, interpreters of soul stories, capture the echoes of pain beneath fury. Anger might surge in the chest or tighten in the throat, unprocessed emotions manifesting in physical form. By tuning into these sensations, we embark on a dialogue with our bodies, a conversation rich with wisdom beyond words. Through mindful awareness and embodied inquiry, this somatic exploration reveals emotions yearning for acknowledgement, fostering equilibrium between mind, body, and spirit. Here, pain isn't merely acknowledged, but soothed, nourished, and integrated. Sadness, oftentimes slighted by anger's intensity, invites us into a profound exploration of emotional intelligence. In melancholy's tunes, we find illumination of the present, a liberation of pent-up emotions, and a nurturing well of self-compassion and acceptance. Embracing sadness, we surrender willingly to its flow, freeing ourselves from residual fear, enabling us to engage life holistically with an open heart. Deep within, courage calls, guiding us to integrate pain into wholeness. It lights the path toward acceptance, urging us to witness our emotions openly with understanding. As courage dismantles barriers, it fosters a reintegration of fragmented parts into a harmonious whole. Through curiosity over condemnation, courage becomes our guide in illuminating the path of authentic self-expression, nurturing a legacy of self-discovery. Acceptance, the gentle embrace of all that is, guides us toward releasing resistant patterns and defences. As we honour the pain beneath anger, acceptance initiates a transmutation of barriers into bridges, unlocking the door to emotional freedom. Welcome what we have resisted, and discover an inner sanctum of peace, embedded within the heart of the storm. Acceptance, a conscious practice of grace, invites us into the dance of life's ebbs and flows, finding purpose and liberation in the embrace of our full selves. Here, in this convergence, wholeness emerges, embodying the richness of our humanity, a luminous tapestry of compassion and authenticity. In the quiet realms of our psyche, where emotions gently whisper and linger, there dwells an exiled child, bearing silently the imprints of past fears and neglect. This sacred part of you, long hidden beneath the fortresses of adulthood, yearns for recognition. Imagine each wave of hatred or disdain you feel not as an external judgment, but as an echo, knocks on the door of your consciousness, inviting a journey inward. These emotions, often overpowering and misunderstood, are luminous beacons leading you back to the heart, where this child resides, waiting for the love it once sought. This journey begins not with confrontation, but with softness. Place your attention inward, where the child's voice interweaves through the layers of adult narratives. There is no room here for harsh interrogatives or condemnation. Instead, open yourself as a tender caretaker, ready to welcome what you find. This is a sacred moment. A dialogue not meant to disrupt, but to deepen the bond with a younger self who only wishes to be seen and cherished. Embrace this childlike part with compassion, knowing that to hold such a mirror is to invite grace into the spaces where shadows once reigned. Hatred's fiery emergence is a call to heed the child's whispers from the memories shaping your soul's present tapestry. At the surface, these emotions may surge, but beneath them lies the strength of a tender voice. Listen closely. These triggers are teachers gently guiding you to understand the child's muted needs and wounds. They are seeds of longing for acceptance, beckoning you to pause and feel their quiet truths. Here, emotions transform from chaotic storms into guides, illuminating paths towards self-awareness and reintegration. As you immerse yourself in this contemplative space, allow hatred to become a catalyst for introspection, a channel for exploring deeply held beliefs. Listening transfigures into witnessing, as you validate each tremor of the child's voice without dismissing it. Embrace this act of deep attunement, for it is a bridge to your essence. In this stillness, the child's voice unfolds as wisdom, urging reunions with forgotten parts of yourself. Reflection turns into healing, an ongoing narrative of belonging and wholeness. Turn now to your body, where the presence of the exiled child is felt in visceral ways. Beyond intellectual endeavours, this practice invites you into the somatic realm, where the body's unspoken language echoes through tension and quiet heartbeats. Feel the sorrow lying dormant within muscles and bones, asking for notice without judgment. In attending to these sensations, you form a tender alliance with your inner vulnerability, inviting the child to emerge from its hiding place. Dive into this profound relationship with your body. Imagine carefully unwrapping layers of protection to reveal wounds and joys, unmasking the child safely cradled within. The act of feeling is an anchor amid life's chaos, a root of authenticity and belonging. Allow this mind and body synthesis to unfold, where vulnerability slowly unfurls into newfound strength by transforming shadows of the past into luminous light. Observe too the hardened shell that once safeguarded this child, a layer constructed in response to a harsh world. This shell protected, wrapping the child in armour against judgment and fear. Notice it with gratitude and curiosity instead of critique, understanding its existence as a testament to resilience. This artifact of survival offers stories of boundaries drawn and strategies that shielded the child's spirit. With reverent observation, understand this shell's depth and the lessons it holds. This is not an exercise in demolition, but a dance of gentle acknowledgement. Appreciate the shell for its preservation and its nature, grounding yourself in compassionate awareness. As you witness its rigidity or its cracks, space opens for the child to peek out, a gentle breath of openness replacing isolation. As defences soften, what emerges is an opportunity to gently gaze upon the treasures and burdens held by the child. Embrace emotions and dreams stored there like delicate keepsakes, heavy with unspoken sorrow and forgotten joy. Approach with loving curiosity, prepared to accept whatever they unveil about this hidden world. Through this lens, the child brings forth unexpressed pain and untapped potential, offering a richer tapestry of self. Recognize that these remnants are meaningful components in your narrative toward authenticity. As you gaze with kindness, shame dissolves into acceptance, allowing rejection to recast itself as understanding. Acknowledge these treasures, integral to your journey toward wholeness. In this sacred space, listen for the child's heartbeat, soft and trembling. It pulses with vulnerability and resilience. Connect with this elemental rhythm, bridging you to your earlier self, and transform distant echoes into living connections deserving comfort. Each heartbeat, a testament to survival, becomes a source of power and insight, guiding through emotional storms with grace. Let it anchor you, a thread of continuity through life's intricacies, rooting you in the strength of your origins. Now, with hearts open, invite dialogue with this child. Not an interrogation, but a poised listening, inviting the child to share its truths. Use journaling, visualization, or meditation to build this bridge of words and feelings. Engage in a loving exchange, allowing the child's yearning to unfold without rebuke. In this dynamic interaction, the child's potential awakens, trust blossoming between the adult and the youthful spirit inside. Embrace forgiveness, a release of old narratives tethering past to present. Heartfelt forgiveness doesn't dismiss the past, but allows for freedom from its shadow. Offer compassion to the child and extend it to those contributing to its exile. As forgiveness unfolds, reclaim connection with the exiled child, aligning with healing love and acceptance. Emerging from this embrace, new lightness and power transform your path. Finally, invite the child into the wholeness of your being, a conscious choice to embrace this integral part of your identity. Celebrate this inner diversity, uniting spontaneous joy with seasoned wisdom. Engage in this integration, allowing past wounds to engage gracefully in your vibrant narrative. As unity takes form, past fragmentation dissipates, revealing a coherent mosaic of life in its fullness. Through this sacred dance, you step anew into a life vibrating with the full spectrum of your true self. In the stillness of night, when the world seems to hush itself into a whisper, there exists an invitation to journey inward, to meet that mysterious sanctuary within, often cloaked in shadows. This sacred place houses pieces of ourselves we tucked away long ago, and now amid the quiet, we gently approach them not as fixers or judges, but as compassionate listeners. Like unearthing an old forgotten book filled with tales of our past, we turn each page with tenderness, seeking to understand rather than dismiss the voices that emerge from its depths. As we delve into this intimate conversation with our hidden self, we pose the question that can unlock realms of understanding. What did you need then? each whisper of memory unfolds like a tapestry, guiding us back through paths of unmet needs and neglected desires: validation, love, safety, autonomy. We realise our younger selves, in their innocence, repress these desires for fear of rejection or punishment. In this gentle dialogue, we move past mere recognition, letting these dormant needs waltz into the light, where healing begins in earnest. With each step into this internal landscape, we grasp how the echoes of these unfulfilled needs resonate in our present. The shadows cast by our longing for affirmation might urge us toward relentless pursuit of external validation. Yet as we listen, we find the power not to change the past, but to redefine its hold over the present. Every kernel of understanding softens our inner scape, transforming anxiety's echoes into notes of courage, helping us forge a future infused with wholeness rather than fracture. In this quiet harbour where we witness without judgment, we embrace an art both simple in essence, yet profound in its impact. Here we let go of the need to adjudicate or alter, welcoming what emerges with open arms. Unencumbered by the lens of criticism, this unguarded dialogue allows emotions to flow, unravelling unresolved tales that tie past wounds with present actions. As we inhabit the stillness, a realization crystallizes. Judgment is a wall we no longer desire, for through acceptance, the once distorted mirror now reveals our inherent wisdom and resilience. Our voyage morphs as we explore the question, what do you need now? It's an act of grace, allowing our inner child to express desires in this newfound now. This is the dawn where past constraints fall away, as present possibilities awaken. We see with gentle clarity that, though unmet needs lingered, they are not bound to this moment. Instead, the present overflows with opportunities to embrace these needs, not through others, but from our own wellspring of self-sufficiency and inner strength. Through rituals of journaling and meditation, we cradle these dialogues, transforming intangible thoughts into tangible reflections. Writing becomes a sacred act, words crafting a map of our soul's terrain. Meditation too serves as a trusted ally, quieting the world's noise, creating space for the subdued voice within to surface. Visualizations become doorways, inviting us to meet our younger selves in realms of peace and exploration. These practices root the conversation in our daily rhythm, allowing deeper connections to our core to flourish over time. In weaving stories and metaphors into our dialogues, we engage a language both timeless and profound. These narratives resonate with the subtlety of the soul, providing symbols that our psyche embraces readily. Myths about heroic quests or hidden treasures serve as mirrors to our own journeys of self-discovery. Metaphors become bridges spanning the seen and the unseen. Visualize the hidden self as an unattended garden, sparking associations from neglect to blooming potential. Such imagery connects deeply, aiding us in navigating and integrating the many facets of our inner world. As we engage these dialogues, we gently recalibrate our brains. The act of pausing to converse mindfully with our inner parts fosters neuroplasticity, a blossoming of new pathways within. These fresh connections root out patterns birthed in fear or shame and replace them with compassion and understanding. With each intentional engagement, we lighten the amygdala's burden, fostering greater emotional balance and insight. We recognise too how these private dialogues are enriched by the collective unconscious, a vast sea of shared human experience and archetypes. This connection reveals that our personal journey isn't isolated but part of a greater tapestry, interwoven with universal themes of innocence and resilience. Such awareness diminishes feelings of isolation, allowing us to see our struggles as part of an enduring human story. Yet the path rarely unfolds without resistance. Fear and deeply ingrained defense mechanisms surface as barriers. Amid these, we honor each pushback as a messenger, offering wisdom rather than obstruction. As we welcome these hurdles with patience, we begin to deconstruct their power, smoothing the way for an authentic conversation with our hidden self. Through these ongoing dialogues, we reach for integration, a harmonious embrace of all aspects of our being. This isn't an achievement of perfection, but a continuous evolution of presence and authenticity. The wisdom distilled from these conversations informs every step forward, allowing us to navigate life with a newfound grace. We emerge not as fractured souls, but as wholes, our lives reflecting the profound dance of introspection and action. Weave and weaver in the narrative of endless discovery and self-discovery. In the quiet spaces between light and shadow, a hidden story unfurls. A tale of denied truths and forgotten dreams cloaked beneath veils spun from resistance and denial. A shadow is cast, a stark form moulded from pieces of ourselves we abandoned in pursuit of acceptance and love. Yet within these dim contours lies an opportunity. What if this veil is not a fortress, but a delicate curtain yearning to be drawn aside? In this gentle revelation, we glimpse a world beyond duality, where shadows and light are but expressions of a singular essence, inviting a tender reconciliation of our fragmented selves. Compassion blooms when the sharp lines dividing love and fear soften and blend into a serene grace. Peering into eyes that hold our own veiled sorrows, we encounter another mirror reflecting all that remains unseen within us. Judgment pulls at the edges of our comfort, yet in that tension lies the chance for transformation. Our shadows become not foes but fellow travellers, each step a movement towards solace and understanding. With this shifting gaze, compassion weaves a bridge of love over the gnarling fissures of resentment, illuminating the path from division to wholeness. Resentment entwines tightly, binding the heart with tendrils of past wounds untouched by understanding. As we pause to listen to this entanglement, we unearth its true nature, an urgent whisper from unhealed injuries, an echo of unmet needs. Each knot of resentment offers a portal for healing, a chance to peel away layered misconceptions and reframe our old narratives. We trace these twisted threads back to times of youthful punishment and rejection, seeking the origin of this bitterness with patient reflection. Here, amid the gentle excavation of past pains, the threads begin to loosen, transforming anger into dialogue, respecting and honouring our tenderest vulnerabilities. Embrace the shadow with its imperfections, for it leads us to the essence of our humanity. To live in the shadow's embrace is to hold our imperfections close, understanding that within each flaw reside seeds ripe with wisdom and strength. In surrendering to our imperfections, we permit the self to grow towards completeness, seeing our perceived flaws as vital truths shaping resilience and understanding. This acceptance flows like a gentle stream, reshaping rigid self-perceptions into tapestries woven with curiosity and love. And so the alchemy of self-acceptance unfolds, an inner dance of transformation, transmuting shame into a courageous acceptance of our entire being. This metamorphic process reveals the sacredness of our shadows, urging us to embrace their lessons without fear of banishment or denial. Such acceptance is not passive acquiescence, but a brave engagement, with a full spectrum of our existence. Shadows and light intertwine in a vibrant dance, unearthing treasures within our systems of shame and fear. Empathy emerges as the silent architect of compassion, crafting bridges across inner divides. In acts of deep listening, we step into another story, expanding our boundaries of self to envelop shared vulnerabilities. These empathic connections unravel misconceptions, inviting us to redefine our own flaws as paths toward greater understanding. As empathy flows outward, it grows inwardly, revealing tender insights that transform our once solemn interactions with others into shared moments of human reflection. There is a quiet revolution brewing, a profound awakening of mirrored understanding. As the veil between self and other thins, compassion becomes the lifeblood of transformation. Our journey to embrace the shadow is made richer through the companionship of others. Within this sacred space of collective empathy, individual and communal healing intertwine, each person's experience painting a mosaic that illuminates our shared story. Together we bear witness to the struggles and triumphs that define our humanity, fortifying ourselves and each other as we venture into uncharted terrains of self-awareness. In moments of introspective reflection, we engage in tender dialogue with our shadows, honouring their presence rather than condemning them. These sacred conversations invite an examination free from hurried solutions, listening instead to the stories our wounds long to tell. Through this patient engagement, we hone the art of being present with discomfort, welcoming an inner peace that accords with the ebb and flow of our emotional tides. Each interaction with our shadow is an invitation to cultivate humility, freeing us from the bindings of self-judgment and welcoming an ally with wisdom to share. This journey is not confined to grandiose moments. It dances through the tapestry of daily life, calling us to engage compassionately with every breath. Through small, intentional acts of tenderness, we nurture self-compassion until it flows naturally into the fibres of our existence. These practices shape our interactions, allowing compassion to breathe through our routines and transform how we connect with others. With each compassionate choice, life becomes a widely woven masterpiece, rich with the hues of empathy and understanding. Community enhances this journey, amplifying it with shared humanity. As individuals come together, differences are celebrated as profound teachers, each member of the compassionate community honoured for their unique insights. Vulnerability becomes the connective tissue, binding us in a dance of collective healing, where each voice contributes to a story larger than any single one. Witnessing this shared exploration kindles self-compassion, as we find belonging among others who walk a parallel path. Embracing the shadow with compassion is a lifelong journey woven into the fabric of our existence. Each trial and triumph is both an end and a beginning, a continual invitation to dance with wholeness. This journey offers no final conclusions, but guides us with each returning chapter toward a deeper understanding of ourselves. As we embrace the complexity of light and shadow, we reconnect with our essence, imperfectly radiant, broken yet whole, enlivened by the infinite potential of compassionate embrace. In the quiet spaces of our hearts, a journey unfolds, a return to the wholeness from which we once strayed, unknowingly shedding parts of ourselves that felt too raw, too real. These pieces, shunned into shadow, are not mere additions to our psyche, but the lifeblood of our very being. Resistance to reclaim them often stems from whispers of fear, beliefs rooted in ancient soil that these traits are dangerous or unwelcome. Yet, as Carl Jung mused, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. In the shadow's embrace lie qualities yearning for light. Like alchemists of old, we stand at the crucible of our soul, ready to transform emotional lead into the gold of self-realization. To embark on this sacred pilgrimage of self, imagine your shadow traits as children at your door, neither condemned nor praised, but simply longing to be held. Here lies assertiveness, mistaken for aggression, sensitivity seen as weakness, and anger misunderstood as volatility. Each trait, when welcomed, enriches the tapestry of our inner world, contributing to resilience and depth. Allow these qualities a voice in your life, welcoming them into the quiet corners of daily reflection. As time unfolds, witness the shift from a tug-of-war against your own nature to a harmonious dialogue where creativity, empathy, and courage flourish. Reclaiming assertiveness begins with redefining it as a beacon of self-respect and sovereign boundaries. Where once there was fear of confrontation or echoes of being told to hush, assertiveness now stands as a guardian of our truth. Reflection on past narratives, of opinions silenced, of needs swallowed, reveals the survival strategies formed to keep peace at the expense of self-worth. Yet assertiveness need not be abrasive. It is the gentle roar of a soul, honouring its own existence. Through practice, perhaps by writing letters or rehearsing assertive speech, this dynamic unfurls into reality. Gradually, assertiveness is celebrated, as it emboldens you to state your desires without fear, affirming self-worth and nurturing genuine connections. Sensitivity, too often exiled under the guise of weakness, holds within it the power of empathy and understanding. Those who feel deeply bring colour to the world, yet early lessons taught many to hide these gifts, overwhelmed by emotion or labelled too sensitive. The shadow cloaks our sensitivities, obscuring their ability to connect us profoundly to others. To welcome sensitivity's warmth, one acknowledges it as an inner compass, leading with quiet discernment. In sacred solitude and creative expression, this quality finds sanctuary and blossoms, weaving richness into the fabric of relationships, guiding us through life's symphony with grace. Anger, a flame too quickly smothered, holds the potential to burn, not as destruction but as transformation. Taught to hush it for peace or avoid censure, we mistrust anger's force, perceiving it as a foe rather than an ally. Yet, at its core, anger signals violated boundaries or demands for justice. Through journaling and physical release, we unearth its roots and channel its energy constructively, allowing anger to herald change and protect our essence. As we embrace its fiery spirit, it ceases to harm and instead fuels awareness, empowering us with agency and purpose. In this tapestry of emotions, balance emerges, a serene dance of yin and yang, where shadows once reigned discordantly. To achieve this equilibrium, we invite all feelings to the table: fear, envy, sadness, and joy. Mindfulness and meditation hold the space for these visitors, offering acceptance and understanding over repression. In acknowledging each emotion as a teacher, we journey from internal turmoil to a tranquil symphony where clarity and peace reside. As fragmented pieces find their place in the mosaic of self, vitality is rekindled. The energies once feared as chaos now surge as rivers of life. Renewal does not burst forth, but emerges gently, like spring through thawing frost. Engage in creative pursuits, wander beneath open skies, and revel in spontaneous joy. Vitality hums through laughter, curiosity, and a life unshackled by mundanity, aligning with authenticity's pulse. This path, lived authentically, forms a new identity, a dance of light and shadow, not bound but fluid. Each past self, the dreaming child, the turbulent youth, the musing adult, offers wisdom to the present. Shape this identity with conscious intent, welcoming the stories that reflect true understanding and belonging. An authentic self blooms, unburdened by judgment, liberated by integrity, and free to explore an interconnected world. In this journey, gratitude uplifts our steps, acknowledging trials and victories alike as sacred teachers in the evolution of soul. Every small victory, every moment of growth, becomes a celebration of resilience. Gratitude, a balm for the heart, reminds us of the interconnectedness of all we are and will be, nurturing perseverance and unfolding life's tapestry with love. As reintegration sinks its roots, an inner harmony blossoms, forming a haven amid life's chaos. This peace is not absence but presence, a gentle strength like the supple tree bending with the storm. Mindfulness and meditation anchor us in the present, accepting change while investing intentions in a fluid dance. Harmony unfolds, a companion in life's journey, offering solace and reminding us of the universe's tender embrace, whole and enough as we are. This eternal dance of reintegration is an odyssey without end, where we become not just ourselves, but a symphony of possibility, creating and reflecting life's infinite beauty. In this quietude of introspection, as the shadows cast by our psyches subtly dissolve, hatred, once a towering and relentless presence, begins to fade like a receding tide. The journey here has been one of embracing those shadowy corners of the soul, understanding them not as mere blemishes but as fragments deserving tenderness and integration. Such tenderness lessens the compulsion to project our hidden turmoil onto others, reducing the harsh demands of blame or disdain. As we cast off these burdens, a softer illumination reveals pathways where clarity breathes and unfurls like a mist over distant hills, inviting us into a deeper communion with our own diverse selves. Consider how this transformation, though gentle, dismantles the veils of illusion, allowing us to engage with a truth that had long been obscured. Emotions, once heavy anchors of our consciousness, now flow into channels of acceptance and realization, birthing a landscape where our fractured perceptions might unify. The echoes of past animosities, previously symbols of inner discord, yield now to tranquility and connection, revealing a structural harmony, binding together community and self, transcending competition and inviting unity. To exist as a being integrated is to dance upon the edges of our own history, woven through with awareness and the embrace of forgotten powers. In accepting and integrating these shadow aspects, we dissolve the fragmented self, reshaping it into an entity of authenticity and wholeness. Authenticity here is not quaint perfection, but the artful dance of shadows, once separate, now joined in a tapestry of strength and vulnerability, inviting the world to witness a self no longer swayed by fear's whispers. In this state of coming together within oneself, life transforms from confrontation to creative engagement, each breath and action coloured by empathy and a resilient spirit. We learn not to labour under facades, but to cradle our flaws and strengths with equal tenderness, finding stoic elegance even amidst stormy tempests. This newfound balance softens reflexive reactions, crafting a wellspring of grace from which we draw in our encounters with the chaotic dance of existence. Herein lies the transformation of our encounters with others. Where once they served as mere canvases for us to paint our insecurities, now they reflect the shared light of mutual growth. The gaze we cast outward becomes a mirrored journey inwards, each meeting now a step along a shared road of discovery. Vulnerability comes not as peril, but as an intimate offering, nurturing deeper understanding and stripping away the superficial for something undeniably richer and more profound. The world unfurls around us, a dance of reflections that speak to the sacred interconnectedness of being. By allowing others to mirror the wholeness we embrace within, we quiet old paradigms of division, inviting a radiant tapestry of shared compassion and understanding. Through these threads of connection, relationships mature into spaces of boundless collaboration and respect, where wisdom effervesces between souls, unfurling a dialogue free from ego's binding grip. Each soul, a living pontoon in this cosmic dance, invites us to perceive the divine spark mirrored in human encounters, a divinity expressed in silent rhythms and the gentle caress of meaningful glances. Recognizing this divine interconnection in every meeting imparts each exchange with sacredness, enlarging our capacity for love and empathy, allowing us to breathe in the lush wholeness of being. In this emergent landscape of reflection, boundaries gain importance not as barriers, but as delicate guardians of our integrity. Thus, within this synchrony of souls, we nurture mutual respect and relish in the autonomy that enables flourishing connections. These boundaries, gentle and present, ensure that our shared journeys enrich rather than deplete, invoking a dance where abundance and sovereignty walk hand in hand. Hence, the essence of authentic relations emerges, a tapestry where voices intertwine and create soulful melodies. Communities no longer bound by roles shift into realms of shared meaning, where genuine affection transforms and eternal belonging unfolds. Across these spaces, the song of each person not only finds resonance, but amplifies the collective symphony, nurturing truths celebrated at their fullest glory. Thus, a world reimagined through reflective understanding blossoms, nurturing a departure from isolation towards an unfolding of mutual revelation. The invitation extends beyond self to encompass society, unearthing new landscapes of empathy and shared purpose. Here arises potentiality, woven from collective imaginings, where each challenge invites cooperation, each vision spurred by creative origin. Through these refracted lights, we uncover ways toward unity, bridging separateness in favour of a warmly lit expansiveness. Finally, this journey of inner and outer unwrapping culminates in peace, not as serene stillness, but as an ever-present harmony, tenderly resonating with the undulating truths of connectedness. In this peace lies the realization that existence is not about escaping chaos, but in embracing its intricate weavings with open arms and eyes, inhaling the poetry of life and exhaling our own vibrant verses. Dear listener, as this sacred narrative lovingly comes to a pause, let your steps carry the invitation to weave these whispers into daily existence. In this shared journey, consider lending support by subscribing to our channel and lighting the way for others who seek such tranquil contemplation.